Hello, we have
Hello.
Kitty Paws. Hello, hello.
We have a
That's not the
Maximus.
witch. Yes, we have a Maximus Furball. And we sort of have. Yeah, we sort of have a Heather.
I'm here too. Yes, we made it finally.
Hello, hello. Well, I suppose we ought to sing our little ditty. Are you ready?
Indeed.
Oh, witches are
Witches are
we,
we,
witches are
witches
we,
are we,
witches are we on a
witches
Wednesday. Oh dear, oh Lord. So, you've been on your lollipops.
Oh, yes. I need a holiday now.
It works that way, doesn't it?
Well, I've kind of worked out that there's so much hard work involved in organising a holiday and getting away and everything. And then it's not always plain sailing when you're there. And then there's all the washing and all the catching up to do when you get home. So really, shouldn't do it.
No. But was it worth it, do you think?
It was nice to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
It was nice to be somewhere else, definitely. And it's a lovely city, Brussels. There's a lot to see, and we'll go back and see more of it sometime.
Yeah, it's an interesting place, actually, isn't it? Really interesting place. I know it's sort of 40 or so years ago since I went there, but it was an interesting place then, and I'm sure it's no less interesting now.
Much of what was there then is still there now, yes, although they seem to be building all over the place. And, you know, it's like any big city, it changes. But there's very good beers to be had, some very nice food, lovely town to wander around, and a flea market to boot. So happy days. That was my best day.
I'll bet it was, yeah.
I ran away from home on my own, always best, and went to the flea market and had a whale of a time.
Yeah. Oh, you can't beat a flea market. I absolutely love that. Yeah, you get really carried away. Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that.
Well, of course, because of bringing stuff home, it's like I can't buy anything big and I don't want to buy anything breakable. That limits me somewhat.
It does actually, doesn't it? Definitely. Yeah. Especially if you've got limits on baggage and all that jazz. Yeah.
Well, not so much that, but just on what we wanted to carry, really, to be fair.
Well, yeah, true. Yeah.
We did the Eurostar thing and endured all the queues going out there.
Oh, God. It was like that.
It was all right. You know, we got there, but it was a long time queuing. But I think people at airports, like you say, it's worse because they had flights cancelled and what have you. So.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, not much fun at all. Heather, we need to say hello to some people.
We do, because there's lots of people in the chat.
There are. Hello, hello. So we have Tony. Hello. Hope you're well today. Then we've got me. Hello.
Oh, hello, you.
Hello, me. We've got Red Wing in. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope you're well today. We've got Mandy Allsop. Hello. Hope you're really well. And Simon. Hello. Hope you're all right today. And we've got Decadent Furry. Decadent Furry or Fury?
Fury, I think. But I haven't seen that name before, so maybe that's someone new to us. Good name.
Hello. And welcome. Obviously, you've not joined us before. And hello. London Girl Crikey. Glutton for punishment. Hello. Anacasta Jinx. We've not seen you for a little while. Hello. And of course, we've got Hans. Hello. And hello. The room's me, aren't you? Yes.
So amazing chat last week.
I know, it was amazing, wasn't it?
I think you need to have Hands on much more often, if they're willing. Yeah, I really think so, because you know, between all three of us, we all come from very different places in where we are in our magical journey and our ways of doing things, and they explained things so well. It was inspiring. I think absolutely, definitely a lot more of the same is although it means me not doing so much, it doesn't matter. I really think that is very, very important that their voice
variety that way, don't you? Yeah. Oh, nice greeny face from the other side of the room.
Good.
So, yes. You're not talking today? Yes. Sort of.
Yes. Small voice in the back.
Small squeaky voice in the background. So yeah, it was fascinating, wasn't it? And it's you know, it's just such an interesting thing to do, and so many people talk about doing astral travel, and not many people manage to achieve it. But obviously, doing what Han suggests, you know, is those simple steps to start you on your path, so to speak. It's just, you know, it's almost like an introduction to that. And of course, once you've got the basic groundwork done, of course, then the rest is up to you, isn't it? And that's what's so perfect about it.
Exactly. And if you are one of those people that's kind of sort of almost always done it, then to actually think about the process is almost impossible for me. I'm like, well, how do I don't know, it just happens.
Exactly.
But of course, you know, that whole thing of the gentle way of doing it in stages, I think gives people a sense of that they're getting there, gets the focus, it gets the intention right, it makes it very safe. Absolutely nothing was left out there, and that is an absolutely brilliant way for people to start exploring it, especially if they think, oh, well, okay, some people can do it and some people can't. I also believe that everybody can do all of these things, but it's some things you discover by accident, and other things, if you compare yourself to other people, you almost get in your own way and stop yourself. Because you think, oh, well, no, so-and-so does that, that's not my bag. And it's like, no, we can all do, we have our areas of speciality, yes, we do.
Of course.
Our natural places we gravitate towards. But yeah, I truly think that was a great introduction, and more of this of similar would be most welcome.
Definitely. So there, you've got to come and sit next to me more often.
Yes.
I'm keeping her away normally. As soon as I come on here, it's the other side of the room.
Yes.
Like I'm sitting in some kind of fog, which is, we know that happens. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Did you manage to get any magical workings done while you were on your hollybobs, or was it all just atomiums all the way?
Well, it was a lot of atomiums. I wasn't really working magically, apart from sort of the odd bit of weather magic, because I got a bit fed up of getting damp. But you know, apart from that, no, not so much. I was trying to just be in the moment and relax in it and enjoy it. But like I say, you do use your magical skills. You're trying to find a decent restaurant, or you're not sure which way to go, because trying to read tram maps and you know, it was quite interesting, quite an episode. And I did much better when I just set off. When I just headed off for the hills, it worked a lot better without having to worry about anyone else.
It's one of those basic instincts that so many people, especially now where technology just takes over your entire life, people have almost forgotten that, you know, essentially we're animals and we've got those basic instincts. People either don't rely on them, or don't use them at all, or don't trust them. You know, and of course
I think it's a trust thing. Yeah,
it is a trust thing, and it's you know, it goes right across the gambit, doesn't it? Whether it's you know, sort of trusting when you first meet somebody, whether they feel quite right to you, or whether they feel a threat, or whether it's, as you say, trusting your instincts to get from point A to point B. You know,
and not minding getting a bit lost as well. The fact that it doesn't matter if you go a bit wrong. But sometimes if you rely on technology, it will literally sort of take you completely the wrong way. And the more you start to say, actually, this doesn't feel right, and then it becomes a problem with the other person who's relying on the technology. And oh dear, no.
No, it goes all horribly pear-shaped in a very short space of time, doesn't it?
Yeah. So I am a solitary creature by nature, I think. I should just be that.
We've got all of these instincts, haven't we? And that's what's so important, you know. And as I say, it doesn't matter what that instinct is. It's just, I know it's a difficult thing in a lot of circumstances to have that trust either in yourself or in somebody else, if they're, you know, you're relying on their instincts. But it's just that thing of like, it's that inner knowing, isn't it? I know it's right, or I know it's wrong, whichever, and going with it.
Yeah, it's that thing of being in a city and being able to say, look, I know we're here, but I know that the centre of Brussels, the bit we want to get to, is over there. I know it's over there.
Yeah.
And they look at you like you're mad. It's like, but I have a map in my head. I have a
Just like always knowing. I have this thing where I don't know whether I've talked about this before, and I call it directional sleeping. And I don't know whether I've talked about it before on here.
Mentioned it.
I've talked about it to you, I know, but that's something, again, it's having that inbuilt compass and knowing, you know, sort of having a certain way. So you'll see photographs of me when I was little, and you'll see that, you know, if I was on holiday, I was all over the place in bed because it wasn't the right way round. And I'm still like that. If I go and stay in a hotel, I end up being, you know, sort of in peculiar positions in bed, simply because I'm the wrong way round. from what my body, how my body wants to align itself to north, south, east, and west. It's a bizarre thing. And again, staying at people's houses, I find it very difficult. And if I'm not in the right position, either I do manage to get to sleep because I'm so dog tired, then I have actually finally gone to sleep and end up in an odd position, or I don't sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's, because I'm just in the wrong place. My head and it feels so wrong, and my head's in the wrong place, or my feet are, I've had to sort of shuffle around so that I'm in the right place. And, from people that I've spoken to over the years, it seems that there's not many people that have that. People will know where they are on the points of the compass, or what way they're facing, or so on. But certainly from the people that I've spoken to, there's probably in reality isn't that many, many hundreds of people. But the people that I have spoken to, no one else has sort of come up with this strange directional thing that I seem to have, which is odd, and actually it's quite frustrating and inconvenient.
I don't think I've got it to the same degree, but I do quite like to sleep sort of north to south. I know that's where it doesn't have to be exact, but I have noticed that in most of the places I've lived, that I've ended up making sure the bed is that way round.
Yeah.
And I quite like having my head in the north and my feet in the south ish.
Yeah. So for me, my personal direction is so essentially, to be really, really pedantic, it's northeast.
Okay.
Northeast to southwest. That's my personal position. My bed, for example, at home, my bed is pretty much due east to due west.
East-west, yeah.
East to west, which means that I'm slightly on the skew. So I'll always end up in a really funny angle.
Diagonal.
Like on the diagonal, because that's how I should be. It's really bizarre. Really bizarre.
Yeah, I hadn't refined it down to that, quite down to that. I suppose, if it was going to be anything, it'd be north-northwest, not northeast, actually. But it's somewhere around there. And I know, you just know when something feels right, don't you?
And yeah, exactly. But it's very strange. It took rather a long time to work out exactly what the problem was. But now I know it's bed's the wrong way around. Oh, well, I'll just do that then. Oh, so I don't sleep. So it's a bit inconvenient, really. But a lot of people get this part of their nose. So yeah.
Especially if you go diagonal, there has to be someone else in there with you.
Exactly. But of course, things like like when I've been in the camper van over the years, there's been a certain specific way I've needed to position the camper van, because I think I won't sleep otherwise. So I've had to sort of turn the camper van around a certain way, or have the bed in a certain direction. Otherwise, I know it's going to be a pain in the bum.
Well, that works great with the bell tent, because you can basically put the bed wherever you want.
Exactly. Yeah, you have a nice round tent. It's like, well, I'll have this bit here.
Yeah.
So yeah, exactly. So we've got hands saying yes. Oh, hands on here. What have we got here? Pear shape. Can't have a pear shape, but also it's about reawakening what we know long ago, and sometimes it's about tapping in and switching on. And again, obviously, that's talking about the intuition that we talked about. Sleeping in the directions with the Star Maiden. Now that's gone into apparently in the Star Maiden. Now I don't know much about Star Maiden. Hans does. We'll have to come and chat to me about it.
That's a chat for another occasion. We're going to have to make a list of topics, my dears.
Yeah. With the Star Maiden. That was quite a while ago actually that Hans mentioned that to me about it, how it kind of maps your life in your dreams and in your goals and things like that. So we'll have a chat about the Star Maiden. As I say,
that's a topic. That's a future topic.
Exactly.
Something I know nothing about.
No, I know very, very little, other than a few bits and bobs that Hans has told me. But so that would be something for another time, I think. So watch this space. It's coming up.
This is the thing. Hans has got an encyclopedic knowledge on certain things and explains so well. And I just think it needs to be shared.
Yes, exactly. Hear that? Yes.
Yes, you've been told, Mrs.
Oh dear, oh dear. We've spent most of the last week actually down at the woods. It's been an incredibly busy time, and there was, I don't know whether I mentioned it to you before, but there was problems with the treehouse tree.
Yes.
And I was concerned about my friend scaling the dizzy heights of this particular tree in order to try and fell it for me, because it had died and I felt terrible about it dying. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to bite the bullet and get a tree surgeon in for some advice and an estimate. Anyway, he was an incredibly nice chap who came along, gave lots and lots of advice, and an estimate that was lots and lots. The tree is no more. But it turns out that what I didn't know is that, do you remember we had Dutch elm disease when we were kids? Do you remember? Well, don't mean us personally.
Well, I didn't. I got, in spite of being a wood, I got away with that one.
You were inoculated against that, yeah.
Yeah, but it was the thing, wasn't it? When we were young.
When we were little, there was a massive problem, wasn't there, with Dutch elms and Dutch elm disease.
Excuse me.
Yes, cheerio, kitten. Let's dinner.
Back in the room.
It turns out that there's a problem with ash trees. I thought it was a lime tree that my tree was around, house was around.
Yeah, it's ash dieback, isn't it, or something?
Ash dieback, yeah. And in a way, I was actually quite relieved to hear that the tree had died because of ash dieback and not because of my ignorance or malplay.
Not because of anything you've done.
Yeah, as it turns out, it was nothing that I'd done, but it was well and truly gone. And so this tree has now been felled to the point at the top of the treehouse. We've still got more to do with it because it's going to come out from the centre of the treehouse. But it was so sad, such a tall tree to have to come down. Obviously it was unwell, but the bottom part of it will still be alive, and it might even sprouts from the bottom. That's a possibility, apparently.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility there. But there was another huge ash tree, which was as big, if not bigger, that had also gone. That I needed to have felled, and the beech tree that had gone in the, we had those storms a few months ago, and I lost an enormous beech tree, and then I had a few other slightly smaller trees that had gone, and they managed to deal with those too. So going there when they'd finished on Saturday, I was expecting them to be halfway through when we got there about 10ish. In actual fact, he'd gone there early because of the bad weather, so he'd gone there early to try and not catch all the rain. But to go there and find that all these huge, beautiful trees had been felled, and it was really sad, actually. But of course, that comes as a double-edged knife, really, doesn't it? Because that the felling of them then leaves way for other trees to, really make a mark on the land, and so on and so forth. And what I'm really grateful for is that Hans, in clearing up or helping to clear up, we had several people up there actually on Saturday to help with the clear up process. Too much for one or two people. Each part of these trees were honoured. The spirit of the trees were honoured. Whether it was a tiny stick or leaf, or whether it was a sort of a larger piece of trunk. It was all honoured in the removal of it, and it's been reused in the dead hedge, and it's we've got lots and lots of stumps now around the richer area in the woods.
Actually, very handy, yes.
Very, very handy, and I'm hoping that at some point, what I'd like to do is decorate some of them as well. Get the old paints out. Sort of decorate them, and because obviously that helps to preserve them, because in time they rot, don't they? Rather than just going, well, that's that. I've got loads of lovely firewood. I don't want to do that with it. It just seems rude somehow. But it has changed the energy of the wood. But what's interesting is that it's brought out more liminal spaces than we had before, new liminal spaces than we had before. And of course, that's always a wonderful thing. You can get lost in those places. And, it's just, as I said, you've got light in areas that haven't had light before. And so it was slightly changed the dynamics of the wood somewhat. But,
yeah.
It's not all bad. And it's about the whole birth and rebirth thing, isn't it? It's all part and parcel of it. And, no, I didn't ask for them to die. No, I didn't ask for them to get this wretched ash dieback thing and get blown over by whopping great storms. But the fact is, they happened, and it's nature that did it and not me. And so it's just
part of the life of the woodland, and it will change and evolve and grow, and the energies will shift, and you're going to be a part of that. So that's
So it's an interesting time as well. It's not just about well, can we use this and utilise that? And of course, I'm thinking that too, and utilising spaces and thinking, oh, that's brighter now. I can see this, and that's nice, and so on. but it's going to be an interesting thing to watch, you know, in those spaces, what you know, what thrives and what, you know, still doesn't thrive so well, and whether more plants will thrive on the forest floor rather than it being just leaf mulch that it's been, because it's been quite dark, hasn't it, over there? So it'll be interesting to see what happens. You know,
yeah, more bluebells and those sort of plants, you know, that like the dappled light that you're getting. Yeah,
exactly, rather than the, you know, sort of the complete shade that some areas have had. So yeah, it'll be an interesting, you know, interesting thing, and it's all that whole birth and relife thing, isn't it? Life and rebirth thing. So it's all part and parcel of it. But it'll be, yeah, you know, it's interesting. It's, you know, it's sad. I'm not going to say that I'm not still sad about it. And parting with that amount of money, it also made me quite sad, I might add.
Yeah, that would have brought tears to the eye, no mistake.
Yeah, it did. Tears to the eye, off to the wallet.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know, it needed to be done. And, you know, as much as anything, I have to think about safety issues as well, you know, because they were prone to, you know, because they were so badly gone. Not only could they have cost somebody their life, you know, they could have done untold damage to the other trees that are healthy there as well. And, you know, people have been, you know, either walking their dogs in there, because, you know, we get people that walk their dogs and stuff, whether I want them to or not. Or people that I've invited to. The last thing I want is for them to have a dirty great tree land on their foot or head or whatever. So, you know, you've got to be pragmatic about it. But yeah, I was a bit miserable about it and shed a tear or two, I must say.
Yeah.
It's sad. But, you know, looking forward, it's a good thing, has to be, you know. He was a very knowledgeable chap, though.
Well, that's it. You're paying for their skill, aren't you? And their knowledge.
And, you know, he gave lots of bits of advice on the other parts that I've got there as well. And he said, oh, you know, it doesn't have to all go, but, you know, you know, it's been copies previously, and therefore there's too much in, you know, one small area. Recopy some of it, and you'll benefit from it, and the woods will benefit too. You know, and I'm reluctant to take anything down that's healthy. But by the same token, if it then ultimately makes other things more healthy, then it's, the best way, I suppose, is to liken it to having your hair cut if you've got split ends, isn't it?
Indeed. Yes.
But yeah, but it's, you know, it's a tough thing. It is a tough thing. So yeah. So what have we got here? Oh yeah, and the larch disease that we had, as Hans was reminding me as well.
Larch.
Larch. What was that one? There was a larch disease, apparently. Yeah, actually, that does ring a bell. It does ring a bell. Yeah. And as the Castor Jinx says, Kitty.
Yes. He sort of decided to suddenly move off my lap, which usually implies digging the claws in whilst hoisting himself. And he's like, so I just.
They forget you've got nerve endings, don't they?
Well, clearly, yes. And I've had a cat attached to me for the last week since we've been back. Yeah. There's been one cat or another insisting on being on my lap. So, yeah.
So you've got a free lap for the next 5 minutes then. So.
I have, which is quite liberating.
Oh, dear. So what have we got here? Yeah, as Hans says, every leaf and branch was honoured and remembered and thanked. We've got Zoe in. Hi, Zoe. Lovely to see you today. Hello, hello, hello. What else have we got here? Yeah, the big thing. Yes, and also a big thanks to Tracy, as Hans has pointed out, who helped out financially with the costs of it too, as part of our wedding present, which is lovely. So yeah, that would be nice. So yeah, it was nice actually. You know, we had, as I mentioned, we had lots of people down, you know, helping hand. Some of the hands that we had were incredibly small.
Okay.
Incredibly small people. I think the youngest was about 18 months or 2.
Oh, blimey.
But, yes, oh, blimey indeed. But even the diddly tiny ones were really helpful. And they might not have picked up the really big bits, but they picked up sticks and twigs, and they brought life there. You know, it's that whole energy thing, isn't it? It's that whole energy, that energetic thing of young life and new life and all the rest of it. So that's all rather nice. So yeah. And so it was a rather large family that came, friends of mine, and did an awful lot of helping. And Bit of squeaking, but they were marvellous. So an enormous thank you to you if you happen to be watching it.
Mm-hmm.
You know who you are. So yes, so that was all nice. And Zoe, who's on here, was a star.
That's fun, Zoe.
I think she's quite a pack horse, to be honest, and can carry things that most giants wouldn't be able to. As he said. So yeah, so it really was all hands on deck, and it was and it was good. You know, and it's nice to sort of see the transformation and so on. And Zoe's son helped out too. So as I say, you know, it was just great. But it's a nice thing to do, to have people down there and enjoy it, and people do enjoy it down there. It's such a nice space, isn't it?
It is. It's lovely.
And now it's less dangerous because it's less likely to get squashed by a tree. It's even nicer.
Always a bonus.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah. So next thing to talk about, I suppose, will be the solstice. So we're going to have a couple of weeks of discussing various things about the solstice, won't we?
Well, indeed, yes.
Yeah,
we have planned.
Yeah, exactly, because that's kind of crashing upon us in a very short space of time. What's the date today? 8th.
I was just having a look, actually. I was just thinking June is going to be a bit of a blur all round, really, because it's incredibly busy.
Yeah, I know. I've got 2 big events, 2 that I can't make and 2 big ones that I can. Actually, no, 3.
Oh, okay. Well, in June.
In June, wow. Plus 2 that we can't do, and the solstice. So yeah, it's all a bit.
Yeah. Are you drumming on Saturday?
No, because it's my granddaughter's birthday party at exactly the same time as drumming. So that's one of the ones that I can't do.
Yeah, because I'll be at that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So I wasn't able to get to the one last Saturday, which was a bit of a shame.
Yeah, no, I know. People just, yeah.
I think they managed to drum between raindrops somehow. I'm not quite sure.
Yes, I think they did.
They managed to dodge the raindrops. So yeah, so no drumming for me on Saturday, but as I say, because it's my granddaughter's birthday party, first house party.
No,
house party when you're 6, haven't you? So.
Well, yes, I suppose so.
It's almost obligatory, really, isn't it?
Yes, so, and like I say, we do have a lot on the following week.
And then the following week we've got the wedding, not mine. We've got the wedding.
No, we got the wedding. Yeah,
the wedding,
and we've got Adamant. Before.
Yes, we've got Adamant. Yes, we have. So yeah, we're off to go and see the chap.
Indeed, performing in Guildford.
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to that. It'll be interesting to see him in Guildford because we've been
to.
We've
seen him in London, the Roundhouse,
haven't we? We've seen him in London for years, haven't we? But
yes,
yeah, so that'd be good. It'll be interesting to see him sitting down too, won't it? Because normally,
well, you won't be sitting down. I very much doubt I'll be doing a lot of sitting down.
But we will have at least an allocated seat. So should we need to?
Yes, this is true.
You could have done with an allocated seat on one occasion, if my memory serves me well, Mrs.
Well, yes, I had to sit down for a bit, didn't I?
Yeah, I had to sling you over the shoulder, I think, pretty much.
I needed water. It's not funny feeling faint when you're literally in the second row, squished at the front in the mosh pit.
Exactly, we're down in the mosh pit. That's not ideal.
I need some water.
Exactly. Plop. Oh God. Good job you got a very large friend, isn't it?
That large.
Well, at least my head's above the crowd mostly.
Well, exactly, as is mine usually.
Yeah, but your head is somewhat dipped by that point in time. Make way, woman with woman. Yeah.
Exactly. Coming through. And then the following week after the wedding, that's when we've got the solstice.
Oh, that's right.
We're going to be seeing a lot of each other.
Yes.
The next couple of weeks.
Hooray!
Yeah. It'd be very strange though, doing a parents' association meeting, then throwing myself in the van and buzzing up to your place.
I know. What's so funny about that is that you kind of have to be all grown up for a bit, don't you? And then you can be all part fae. How nice.
I've got to adult temporarily.
I know. Yeah, yes. Adulting's not what it's cracked up to be, if you ask me.
No, I can do it in stretches. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not very good at it, I've decided. It's not one of my strong points.
I'm just pretending usually,
Yeah, I know. You do sort of pretend. I do know it actually feels like I'm pretending. It's like playing house. Even when I wash up now, I still feel like I'm playing house. It doesn't feel quite real.
Yeah, no, I'm very much the same.
I think that's probably why I'm such a mess. Did you just say that?
What did she just say?
That's why I'm such a mess. Thank you very much. Oh, it's the royal we now.
Rude. Well, count me in it as well, because I'm a mess too. Sometimes.
Oh dear.
So yes, a very intensive June we've got coming up. But obviously the solstice magically is probably the most major thing. But just that whole thing of being up all night, of watching.
Yeah, I'm really looking
the whole night roll round.
Yeah, that'll be a really interesting thing to do. I'll come back to that, Hannah, in a minute. Yeah, I think it'll be a really interesting thing, and it's not something that, in the way that we're going to be doing it, it's not something that I specifically have done before. Yes, we've done the whole thing of staying up all night and, sort of watching the sun go down and watching the sun come up. Yeah, of course we've done that.
Yeah, we've done
that. But doing an witchy sitter. We're doing an witchy sitter.
Just wait for the question marks to come up in the chat. Like, what?
Yeah, exactly. What? Oh, what? And how do you roll your tongue like that? Yeah. Do you know how I do that? I listen to Bjork incessantly.
Yeah.
Just a little tip. Yeah. It is what it is, actually. Yes. So yes, an Uchi sitter is essentially is a sort of a, but I would say, loosely speaking, it's a waking meditation. Sitting out. So sitting out in nature, but there's a certain element of meditation. There's an element of magic. There's an element of traveling as well. I don't mean physical traveling, but sort of mental traveling, and sort of sitting and waiting to see what comes up. Question marks. What comes up in your mind, what you see, and all that kind of stuff, and then obviously noting down what you do physically see to see what relevance they might be. It might be animals, it could be birds, it could be configurations of clouds in the sky, but there's going to be all of those sort of things will have a relevance to it.
Yeah, it's noticing everything, isn't it? And it's being properly in the moment, properly present.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm really, really looking forward to that. I think it'd be great. And I've not done that before.
No, I've not done it for over that sort of period of time. It's amazing what's been going on lately, because my I call them my crows. They're not mine. They don't belong to me. But my crows up at the garages have been gifting me many feathers, and I've decided I'm going to collect them all, and then see what I can do with them. Sort of use them, make them into something. Yeah. Because literally, I will go up there, and some days there's none, and other days there's just quite a few. Yeah. They've shed a few feathers, so they're a gift. So that's fine. They're obviously happy to let me have them. I thank them properly, but of course they've all had their youngsters, and it's all very chaotic up in the trees at the moment.
I bet it is. Yeah. I must admit, I've taken to when I put sort of food that I can't utilise or don't want to stick in the compost that is okay for the birds. I've taken to putting it on the hedgerow. Excuse me, on the hedgerow opposite my house. And actually, like, chucking it so it sits on the top, and it's brilliant watching all the big birds come and sit on the top, and all the little ones down at the bottom. And it's great to see it filters through, and there's little mice and stuff in the hedgerow, and other creatures and whatnot, and they sort of get those little bits that go through. It's almost like a sieve effect,
Yeah, but it filters down.
Yeah, exactly. So going back to the Uchi sitter, you sit out in nature from dusk till dawn. So yes, and it's obviously a magical thing, because it's the betwixt and between places, isn't it? When you've got the twilights, and they're long twilights, aren't they, at that time of year, or this time of year?
It's my favourite time of the day. It's that liminal space between day and night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I just love that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be really nice.
We'll make sure we're warm enough this time too.
Yeah, exactly. Because last year it was chilly, wasn't it? It really was.
It's freezing, and I spent a lot of my energy just keeping the rain off. So this year I won't have to do that.
Yeah, this year though, we're hoping that we should be able to have it, at least a contained fire and a fire pit. So that should
will
be,
help.
that clearly will help. So yeah, because that bottle of wine just didn't keep us warm enough, did it?
No.
No. So yeah, exactly. And Hans has answered Tony. You can ask for answers that you want to know personally or globally, and so on as well. So it doesn't have to just be a personal, sort of personal time. You can sort of think outside the box for for your family, extended family, friends, and as Hans says, globally too. So yeah, exciting stuff. So yeah. So Hans has asked me, just changing the subject. How would you fast track getting a quick driving test than a job? Why do you ask me that? Ah, okay. I'll talk about that later. I think, yeah, on here. Oh, okay. Okay. You can, if you've already got a driving license, you can do crash courses, which I always think is a very, very funny phrase.
It's a silly way of putting it, but I mean, I remember I did that
phrase.
for mine years ago. I actually had an intensive, rather than the crash course,
Exactly.
it was an intensive day of driving before the actual test. So by the time I got to do the test, I was kind of fairly tired, but relaxed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
just, didn't have the nerves that I had at the time, because I used to suffer very badly from nerves.
Yeah.
About that kind of thing then.
Yeah. So basically you can do a week's course where they come, the course actually includes the price of a driving test at the end of it, as long as you've already done your theory test. So yes, you can do that, and it's literally a week. It's very intensive. It's sort of 9 to 5 for 4 days, maybe a bit more, and then and they're quite expensive. And then you can then take your driving test at the end of that on the Friday. I don't personally recommend them at all. If anyone's wondering why I've been asked this, I was a driving instructor for a very, very long time. I don't personally recommend those intensive courses. I think they get you through your driving test, but they don't teach you to drive terribly well.
Well, that's the thing. It must be better to do, to do it sort of gradually, whether it's at nighttime or daytime and all the different conditions. And then maybe if you're someone like me at the time who had a problem with nerves, to do something intensive so that you're completely in the groove, just, in the run up to it. But you already know how to drive. This is about actually getting you into the right state of mind to get through the test, perhaps.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but if it's a, if it's a new thing, there are people that do it and people that pass their driving test. Sometimes they'll give you a guarantee that you'll pass, and if you don't, they'll sort of book you in for another driving test. And that is included in it as well, retest. But as I say, personally, I don't recommend them. But people work with them and people pass their driving tests. That's all I can say. So that's the fast way of doing it. Obviously getting as much practice in as you can possibly get, but I'm not quite sure what the and job part is. But anyway, so hopefully that answers your question. If you want to know more, just message me, Zoe. So yeah, exactly. So what we got here? Right, okay. So getting a test. Yeah.
Oh, I see. Clearing blockages.
Sorry, misunderstanding. Okay. So yeah, exactly. So that's an interesting thing to know, as Hans just pointed out. But having said that, whether it's getting a driving test and getting one soon because there's a backlog, or getting the right thing that you want in the charity shop, it's about intention, wouldn't you say, Heather? And you make a decision.
Yes.
You make a decision in your mind. I want this. I'm going to have it.
You have to be absolutely clear and trust it and not put doubt in. And also, that you, on a very practical level, you say, I will take a cancellation and be flexible if time is important. Because there are people that will drop out because of nerves or some commitment comes up.
Exactly.
But yeah,
has said, I am not taking you because you're rubbish. That happens.
But intention is underlies all magic, really, doesn't it? I mean,
it does, yeah. But it's having that intention, and it has to be such a strong intention that I say, for something like that, I've decided that's my my phrase, when I've got to that point of yes, my intention is strong enough, I've decided, and I've made that. Yeah, I've decided. You know, if it's all still at the point of yeah, it could be, or yeah, I could do that. Yeah, that'd be nice. There's still an element of doubt. There's still an element of possibility, flexibility of something other than what my decision is. Once I've decided, bang, that's it.
Yeah, I'm very much the same. Once something's going to happen, it may be a when, but it's not an if.
Yeah, yeah.
But when, you know, like daft things like me getting a camper van, which really shouldn't have been, but once I decided it was going to happen.
So I'm going to do that. Yeah,
and the right thing turned up, and it was a lot less hassle than everyone's going to be. So yes,
exactly. Yeah, it is, but it is setting that intention. You know, I will get a driving test. You know, this side of the summer holidays, for example, or you know, I will get a test before. I don't know, summer solstice. Possible. You know, I will do this. I will do this. You know, and you may need to put some effort in and keep checking every half an hour for, you know, sort of cancellations and stuff, because they do come up all the time.
Yeah.
You know, in that situation, and it does mean spending a lot of time refreshing and poking buttons and refreshing and poking buttons on good old internet.
The same's true with jobs, isn't it? I mean, you have to say, you have to be very specific about what you do want, and then be open to the opportunity of catching them when they come up, because again, there are a lot of jobs about, but when they're the right ones, it depends what you want and what you need. So you have to be very clear in your mind, not just what you think you want, but what you actually really need.
Yeah, exactly. I remember a few years ago, a friend of mine had been out of work for quite some time. And it got to the point of being really quite desperate that, you know, he wasn't being accepted for anything. This is about 20 years ago, and wasn't being accepted for anything. So I got the phone call, you know, can you deal with it? And it's like, well, what do you want? So he gave me various, you know, criteria of what he wanted. Like, okay, fine. So did some work for him, you know, in order to sort something out. And within a few days got 2 interviews and got both jobs. And he's like, well, what do I do now? And it's like, well,
yeah, your choice.
Your choice. That one's got better prospects. That one's better money, but you know, the prospects aren't so great. You might not have a job for so long, then you're going to be in the same boat. 20 years later, he's still in the same, not the same job, but he's been promoted. He's got even better prospects than before. But it was nice for him to be in that position, and so on. And again, it's making that decision. You know, it's that, yes, that. So we'll choose. So yeah, and there he is, still doing it. So yeah, it's all good stuff. All good stuff. Right, okay, what have we got here? Oh, hang on. Yeah, so Hannah's commented, time of equal dark and light. No, it's not. I know. It's the longest day of the year. Yeah, it's the longest day of the year, rather than the equinox, which of course is in March time, isn't it? You're getting in a pickle. But of course it's so nice because you've got that, you know, that lateness, haven't you? And you've got that, you've got lots more light, and you've got really long liminal times, you know, when it is the twilight, isn't it? Much more so, I think, than at the equinox. I always find it fascinating when you go to places that are near the equator, and you sort of like get to that point of 6 o'clock, and it's like, oh, it's going to be dark in about, oh, it's dark. Bang, who turned the light off? It's mad. Of course, you know, being all the way up here, we're not used to that, are we? It's all very bizarre.
We're used to long, lingering, gorgeous sunsets and sunrises for when we actually are awake to see them. And I would miss that terribly. Yeah. You know, I think for literally, you know, they say it's like someone's just flipped a switch, and
it is like someone's flipped a switch. It's really bizarre. I mean, even you know, sort of further south in Australia, it's a bit like that. You know, you've sort of literally got 5 minutes in the bits of Australia that I've been to. I've been to a few bits now, but you know, even there, it's a bit what happened there, and suddenly, and it's not just quite dark; it's pitch black.
Yeah, there's none of that lingering light that we have.
Yeah, none of that nonsense. It either is or it isn't.
It's on or offable.
Yeah, exactly. It's all very bizarre. So yeah, it's very, very strange. Yeah, it's all very odd. Yeah, okay. As Hans says, Zoe, yeah, just message me and we'll sort something out. Yeah, definitely. So I'm rather looking forward to that. I think that'll be really good fun. I think there might be a bit of drumming involved too.
Oh.
On the solstice. Well, cow drumming, of course. Are you up for cow drumming? That doesn't mean anyone wondering.
No, I'm not going to drum a cow.
Beating a cow with a stick. That is, it's not the same.
No, I yes. Tell me what I need. If I need to bring my own drum with me, or
yes, and bring your own cow. No, you don't need to bring your own cow. I've got lots of them actually.
Okay, I won't stick one of them in the back of the van then. But do I need my drum, or do I have to use a different drum? Because I've only got the one.
Have you? Well, you can bring that. I've got. We've got spares, haven't we? We've got. Yeah, we've got hand drums that that you might prefer to use. You can use them.
It's probably
more. I haven't subjected my cows to our big drum. I've not subjected.
It's not very subtle though, is it?
No, it's not. No. So I've not subjected. They probably would quite like it. To be
honest. But your neighbours might not.
No. Well, no, but we're not going to be near the neighbours anyway. No, we're going to be about a mile away from them. Yeah.
Maybe the hand drum is better. Yeah, so, I'll borrow a hand drum if I may.
Yes, I'll borrow one of those. But that would be nice. So for anybody wondering, actually, I'm going to put that video up on YouTube. So yeah, so watch out for that. I'll put.
Do.
I'll put no beating cows here. They have headgear. Yeah, they do have headgear. They've also got. Yeah, I've got a cow that's got a toupee. Well, he looks like he's wearing a toupee.
Oh, what, the little knot on top?
And he looks like he must be Scottish. He looks like he's wearing a ginger toupee. Oh, bless him, he's so sweet. He's got a really quizzical look on his face. Yeah, so for anybody wondering, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. No, year before.
Year before.
I went trundling off to the cornfield, which is behind my house. And the cows were in the field next door, and I was just drumming in the cornfield, which was an amazing experience. I got the corn to resonate, which meant that I got the corn to sing back to me. It was an amazing thing. But when I was drumming, the cows were absolutely fascinated by the drumming, and they all came to the fence where I was drumming. And I drummed the sun down. It was actually on the solstice, and I drummed the sun down on the solstice, and then realised that I'd been a bit previous, so stopped and had a fag and nibbles.
As you do.
And started again. And they all kind of like hung around during the interval and sort of like kicked their hooves about a bit. And then they were all very, very intent to listening when I started back up again. And essentially, once I'd finished, because the sun had gone down, they sort of gave me a round of applause and then wandered off. It was marvellous. So yeah, drumming to cows, you can't beat it. And they're very, very good listeners. They're a very attentive audience.
Okay, looking forward to that performance.
I will fish it out. It's on Facebook at the moment, but I will fish it out and put it up on YouTube because it's a good watch. It's interesting. So yeah, drumming to cows. So if ever you get an opportunity and you see some cows in the field, get out your drum and drum to them because they like it. They really genuinely do, without any jokes or whatever. I'm not being funny. I genuinely like drumming. Who knew? Who moved?
Well, who moved? We know now.
Who moved? So yeah.
Wow.
You won't necessarily be in luck though and get one wearing a toupee.
Oh, I want to see the one with the little hairpiece on.
You've got to see the one with the toupee. He's brilliant. He's good. It's excellent. I have to say, he's one of my favourites. If you can have a favourite cow, I think he's one of my favourites.
Is he a cow or a bull?
Yes.
Yeah. Probably a she then.
To be honest with you, I wasn't that intrigued. I was more intent on looking at his hairpiece.
Right. We're going to have to get a picture of that one.
Exactly, yeah. No, I have got a picture of him actually, and it's rather good.
Oh dear.
It's
Bad jokes. Oh,
ginger syrup, nice.
Yes, a badly fitting wig.
It is, but no, oh, he's sweet though. So yes, I think drumming to the cows would be rather fun.
Yeah.
So no, we're not drumming to the cows, drumming rather than drumming on them.
Yes.
Yeah, play a tune on the cow's ribs. I think actually the cows near me, they're quite well fed. I don't think you'd be able to see one of them.
Yeah, you've got to find a rib first.
I think they might accept that. They might fall off anyway. I don't think that would work at all. No, Zoe's written, cows love music. I wonder if that's a fact. I bet it is.
Probably.
I bet that's a Zoe factoid.
It's probably a scientifically acknowledged. I bet there have been papers written on it.
Oh God, that would be brilliant. Is it a she cow unless they're that? Oh my good Lord.
No.
Oh God, here we go. Right,
Here we go. It's just
month. Should we just put that out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I bought a marvellous t-shirt in Tesco's yesterday. Good on Tesco's.
Really?
Yeah. What was it? Switchboard. Yeah. So they've got they've got Gay Pride t-shirts in Tesco's because it's Gay Pride month, and part of their profits go to the switchboard. Is it just called Switchboard? It's the Gay Switchboard. Yeah, Gay Switchboard. So that's obviously for support and so on. So rather good t-shirt. Good old Tesco's. Thank you very much. So yeah, got one of those. Thank you. Got a matching set.
Are you all matchy? You're going to go out with
matchy, yeah. matchy, yeah. I don't know that would necessarily go out matchy, but yeah, we will. Oh, there's confidence in the corner. Oh dear. My wedding dress came this week. That was good news too. That was an awful lot of magic finding the wretched thing. It was.
Has it been seen or have you kept it secret?
Well, no, decision was helped making decisions of which one's
okay.
But
some people like to keep
seeing me in it till the day.
Fabulous.
So yeah, so that's turned up, which is quite nice. So it's stuffed in a bag at the bottom of my bed.
Oh, okay.
Because this is me we're talking about.
Yeah, as long as you get it out a day or two beforehand to let the creases drop.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's arrived, so that's quite a good thing. So I managed to get around to getting that bought, so that's all good.
Fabulous. And what's Hans wearing?
Clothes, I think. Are you?
Well, it's obviously optional, but
you better wear something or frighten off the natives. That won't work.
I don't know what I'm wearing yet. No idea.
Have you not decided what you're wearing?
Well, no. I mean, but we'll talk about that, no doubt, when we're not supposedly running a show. But yes, exactly. There are plans. There has to be plans afoot. Yes.
Yeah, no. It's just that there was an awful lot. I've spent such a long time trying to find the right thing. It really was, and it was like, oh God, I need to make a decision. I need to find something.
Yes.
Decision.
Exactly. Intention.
Yeah, I will find it. Oh look, that's nice. I love that. Oh look, it's on special offer. Even better. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Universe. That'll do nicely.
Yeah, that'll do nicely. Thank you very much. Where's my card? Yeah. So yeah, all good. So on that note, I suppose we ought to say to Pip.
Well, yes.
I suppose what we got here.
Oh, about the switchboard.
Oh yes, so here we go. Yes, so the switchboard, it's brilliant. It helps those people who believe their difference shouldn't be here. So Gay Switchboard, I lost it, is a brilliant and most helpful thing, and Hans has received lots of support from that. So yeah, it's a really good charity to support. It's a good one and brought lots of help to lots of people in need. So that's all good. Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, all good. So yes, well done Tesco's for supporting what's globally an important issue.
Absolutely.
Exactly. So, and in this room. So yeah. Oh dear. Oh, we're going to get the gushingness now. You can't be gushy on here. Not allowed.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to say cheerio. I'm going to pull the plug before we get
I should
any.
do some awkward waving.
Yes. Awkward wave, Heather. Cheerio, everybody. Thank you very much for listening, and we'll see you all soon. No doubt. Toodle pip.
Bye bye now.
Oh God, here we go. Poke the button back out. Yes. Thank you.